The B Plus Recap Countdown.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's B Plus here, back with yet another recap countdown video. Thank you so much for being here with me. As always, I have a great one prepared for you here today. We're going to be taking a look at Andy Mineo's latest project entitled Neverland 2. Now, I know I'm a little bit late with getting my recap countdown video out, but with artists like Andy Mineo, who put so much into their music and so much into their artistry, it's only right that I take my time and really digest the project versus just rushing to be first to get my album review out. So that's what I decided to do. Now, you know, this is a sequel to his album that dropped in, I believe, 2014, Neverland, but this being Neverland 2. So I'm very excited to get into it just because that was a very critically acclaimed project. So there was a lot of anticipation building for this particular project. So I'm excited to be finally doing this recap countdown video. Now, if this is your first time checking out what I have going on here, really quickly, here's what I do. I take a look at my 5 favorite bars, my 4 favorite beats, my 3 favorite tracks, my 2 favorite features, and I'll round everything out with one final recap. Now, without any further ado, let's get into this review.
5 bars.
I hit the gym, just opened up again, Reza, he loaded me up with 2 plates. Then I went home, baby, she made me a meal, she loaded me up with 2 plates. Jump on the whip, registered that in GA, I had to go get me new plates. I just bought a crib, had to move out of New York, I'm really enjoying the space. Jump on the stick, I don't need no one, don't even wanna take, they don't wanna make no deposit. I don't need no one, who always want drink, but they don't wanna pay for the bottle, nah. Sometimes you be talking to me like I am a kid. Sometimes you be talking to me like I got no head. Sometimes I be talking back to you the way you did. Next thing you know, we just coming at each other's neck. Right back. On a date, only had enough to pay for matinee. Now I'm straight, every morning feeling like a Saturday. Well, they doing nothing, got a lot to say. How you never had COVID, you still got no taste. So girl, I like Jesus save me from Christians, the ones that stay forgetting. Before you hold a grudge, you should hold a beer. Before you hold a stone, you should hold a mirror.
Okay, so the opening line on It Could Be Worse on the surface can seem like it's pretty basic because he just rhymes plates, plates, and plates. But I really like when rappers use homonyms, which is the same word spelled the exact same way but with different meanings. So the first time he used plates is 45-pound plates. In the gym, the second time he used plates is 2 plates at home. His wife fixed him something to eat. And then the last place is license plates. So I really like when rappers are able to do that. Next up on priorities, I really liked how he just talked about friends who are making a lot of withdrawals but no deposits. Whether that's literal or figuratively speaking, I thought that was a very clever line. Next up, Remind Me. Really enjoyed that track just because Andy is sounding like a married man. I think spouses all over the world can relate to some of the emotions that he shared there on that particular line. Okay, now for my 2 favorite bars on this entire project, I kind of flipped back and forth, but on Been About It, the COVID no taste line, that's one of the most memorable bars on this entire project. But that was only outdid, in my opinion, by on Falling when he had the line where he talked about Jesus saved me from Christians, just because it's such an oxymoron, but there's nothing more obnoxious than a Christian who cannot see their own sin and they're constantly pointing out the flaws in other people. So I really like that line there. Andy did his thing on this project from top to bottom when it came to the bars, but let's go ahead and hop over to my 4 favorite beats.
4 beats.
Else I could blame it on, and we've been waiting way too long. What if we're the ones that we're waiting on?
What you waiting for?
If nothing changes before I'm gone, I got no one else I could blame it on. A lot of goofies in the spot, so I'm dipping at it. Adios. In the gym, getting brolic. At the party, we don't bother anybody. Always kept it solid. You know I always kept it solid. Riding through the city in the place I dwell. We just 2 young fellas in the ATL. We done. Yeah, you know the drill. You know the drill. You know the drill. I'm in tip-top shape. They ain't.
Okay, so here's the thing. Before I get into this section, I just want to say that I feel really bad just calling this the beat section, because this is top tier production from start to finish on this project. This just isn't just grabbing some random beats here and there and putting them together on a project. And he did a very good job of creating a soundscape just beautifully for the lyrics that he had for this project. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into Nobody's Coming. I really enjoyed that one just because you're just waiting for that beat to drop the entire time, and then when it does, it wasn't a trap beat. Nothing against trap, but it just was going to be predictable if it was a trap beat, and it wasn't. So I really enjoyed that. Next up was Been About It. It was so much stuff going on in that beat, but at the same time, it wasn't overwhelming. Sometimes somebody will have like a lot of going on in the beat, and they can just kind of feel like everything's kind of fighting and competing. Not so with Been About It. I thought that beat was complex but yet simple. Next up, You Know the Drill. Now, I picked a particular portion for my recap countdown just because if you have nice headphones, like some nice over-ear headphones, you can really hear that distortion after Word's last bar. It kind of bounces between your ears, and then it just drops. The beat drops, the highs and the 808s go crazy. It's just an experience. So you just don't want to just listen to that one on your phone and think you're getting a full experience. You got to really have some nice over-ear headphones to really appreciate You Know the Drill. And lastly, my favorite piece of production on this project was Working on It. I mean, the house type beat, the 808, the highs were going crazy. I really enjoyed that, but specifically at the very end of the song, at the very end, when there's like a clap sound, and then you're just kind of waiting, because normally there's like a 4 kind of count and then the beat comes in. It was just like a 1 count with the clap and then the beat comes back in. I just thought that was just perfect. Caught me off guard. Still sometimes it still catches me off guard. So really enjoyed working on it. Now, those are my 4 favorite beats. Let's go ahead and get into my 3 favorite tracks.
3 favorites.
Hey, it could be worse. Say it again for them in the back so they know for sure it could be worse. And life is hard, I thank God, it could be worse. Life is hard, I thank God, it could be worse.
Way worse.
Look, it could be worse. Used to be scared of the first. I used to pack up the merch, go do the show. Had to put square on my phone. I used to pray that it work, ain't always work. I used to play it. Trying to be gracious, but I try my patience. I'm trying to be great, trying to find balance. Trying to move forward, never go backwards. Ain't trying to be average, live a life that matters. Trying to outrun sadness, eat more salad. Trying to leave my baggage, but I keep on packing. Trying to get back in to the road less traveled. But I need my map, I delete my apps. For a week, then I'll be right back. I'm trying to see me in the lack. On the west side highway, do a 9-day with the seat lean way back. Beat in the back, I got baggage, I ain't unpacked. I got things that I can't take back. Words that I tell myself way worse than the ones when they attack. And you mad cause it should've been your time? Yeah, I know I'm a workaholic, but I've been working on it. At least you know I'm always inconsistent. You say that my phone just like my mistress. Then you try to say I never listened. What you said, I missed it, yeah.
You say I'm impatient. You say I'm forgetful.
Okay, so after much deliberation, these are my 3 favorite tracks, starting off with It Could Be Worse. I just liked it just because that was the most hip-hop track on the entire project. I just really liked just the concept of the song too, just a dichotomy of life. On one end, things are going dope, things are crazy, things are going really good. Then the next minute, you're losing loved ones, you're losing heroes. That just shows just like how life is sometimes. So I really enjoyed It Could Be Worse just because even with all those highs and lows, it's just a song that's just really about being grateful. So next up, my second favorite song on this entire project was Trying. I really enjoyed that one just because from a production standpoint, I just felt like the song just kind of swelled and swelled. Then at the same time, Andy's energy was swelling as well. So I thought that was very, very good. But then the overall concept of the song, it sounds like it's coming from a man. It sounds like it's coming from Andy being in a place in life where he's just kind of contemplating his legacy. He sounds like he's been married for a few years. He sounds like maybe kids are on the way, and he's just really thinking about like, man, like what is my lasting legacy? So I really enjoyed that one, and that was my second favorite track on this entire project. And next up, Working on It. Working on It was my favorite on this entire project. I talked a lot about it earlier. I just really liked the production on this project, the house beat, like I said before. But one thing I do want to highlight about the project that I liked was Taylor Hill and Chandler Moore. Those were the 2 features on the project. Now, Taylor Hill has like a real smooth voice, real silky voice. I enjoyed that, but then I contrasted that with Chandler Moore, who's wildly popular just because of the worship songs that he does with Mad City, but he has like more of like a earthy, kind of like a more rough texture voice, and just the way those two voices kind of contrasted. And then to top it all off, Chandler was going crazy with the runs at the end of the song, but they put a little bit of an effect on his voice, and that just took me over the top. So by far, Working On It was my favorite song on this entire project. And speaking of the two features that were on there, they didn't make the two favorite features on the project, but let's get into my two favorite features now.
Two features.
My doubts, you say I gotta be a hero, but tell me who gon' save me though? You paid the price, don't you know the future's right now? Can you tell me who I'm supposed to be if I can't be myself? Tell me who's gonna help me so I
Clear my phone, all the trust. My baby, lately, you've been loving me.
Yeah, here's what we
Not gon' do.
move to LA, then dye my hair blue. Fire up the lobby to stick a glue. Yeah, I be doing anything to get 1 million views.
Okay, so those were my two favorite features on this project. Now, I know it would have been very easy to just pick my two favorite features and just pick Words Played and just pick Lecrae and be done with it, but this is my recap countdown, and I really enjoy getting put on to new artists, and that's what Andy Mineo did with Ink on Cross My Heart. I never heard of her before, but I thought she has a very pleasant voice. I thought the track complimented her very well. Really enjoyed that. Now, I went and looked her up on Spotify. I don't think that she's a Christian artist, but she does have some good, clean music out there if you are interested, or if you like her voice and you're interested in more of her music. Moving on to my first favorite feature on this project, Joe Solomon. Joe Solomon killed it. I like how they used him at the beginning of the track just to kind of create the sample that they used throughout the rest of the project. So, the rest of the song. I thought that was very clever, and it was just it's just a very, very catchy song. I can definitely hear that one being played like on the radio and things like that. Definitely like one of my wife's favorite songs on the project. I can easily throw that on and get the house dancing at any time. So really enjoy Not Gonna Do, Joseph Solomon. Now let's head over to my one final recap.
One recap.
Okay, so I can't say enough about this Andy Mineo project. I know a lot of people rush to start talking about, is this his best album to date? Is this better than fill in the blank? I don't like doing that. I just like enjoying the music that these artists are putting out. They put so much into it, and I feel like that's kind of like a little bit of slight to them to immediately try to measure it up to their past works. Just kind of let the album breathe a little bit. So I really enjoyed it. I like the little small touches of his mother throughout the project. What was that? On New Father, how that led into Nobody's Coming. Man, like that was super, super touching. It actually makes the song Nobody Coming even better, in my opinion. So really enjoyed that touch. Another thing that I really thought was really cool was young Andy talking right before the track with Words Played. Talking about tag team champions of the world. There has to be a video to that. I wonder if Andy's going to ever show it, because I doubt if he'll just have just audio as a kid and not the actual video. So it would be maybe cool to see young Andy actually in that video. And speaking of Words Played, I kind of had some fun on Twitter the other week, and I posted a caption talking about if you just had to pick one of these duos and the other one were to completely disappear, who would you choose? And I had Magic and Bird, and then I also had Andy and Lecrae, because you just know that both of those duos have produced a lot of good music. One has produced a lot of good singles, and then one produced the entire project in Magic and Bird. So had a little bit of fun with that. I think after much deliberation, I went with Magic and Bird just because their chemistry is crazy. But at the same time, speaking of chemistry, I know that Andy and Lecrae dropped their much anticipated video over the weekend for their song Been About It. I have not listened to it yet. I listened to it, but I haven't watched the video yet, just because I've kind of toyed around with the idea of doing a reaction video. I haven't done any of those before in the past, but I decided, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do it or not, so that may be coming. So with all that being said, thank you so much for checking out this video. You can feel free to follow me on Twitter. I can be found at DJ_B_plus. You can also feel free to drop down in the comment section below and let me know what your favorite bars were, what your favorite beats were, what your favorite tracks were as well. We can chop it up down there. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video and think you may be interested in more content just like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel, or at the very least give me a thumbs up and come back to the channel from time to time. I would love to have you. Once again, this is B+, and until next time, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.